When it comes to creativity, it's every bit as creative as a Mario game.
I'd have to disagree on that. Like there's some stuff that I saw on like Galaxy and stuff.
I'm telling you, dudes. First of all, I like the game.
Okay.
Right? It's more of Astrobot. It's the same.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Fonz in that. Like, I was smiling ear to ear just playing the game because everything about the game is a love letter to the history of PlayStation, and it is basically a big blown out extension of the Astrobot, like Astro's Playroom.
Welcome to the Iron Lords podcast.
This is the big one. Addict, you want me to set you up or you good?
Yeah, sure.
We got no Patreon questions?
We do, but what we're going to do is we're going to include it in this one because Don put something that's very timely. So we will include that. I got you, Don. Don't worry about it. Even though you was late and you did it 2 hours before the show, but it was slow. Anyway, big one, y'all. Astrobot. Man, the reviews have hit the streets an absolute insane reception. 94 Metacritic. The new PlayStation 5 exclusive as of now. The best reviewed video game of 2024. And yes, breakout hit. Shout out to Team Asobi. It was made by only 60 people. And yeah, it's been trying to watch Kings laughing at that.
I'm gonna light this
when it's your turn, you can get there. So look, let's set it off with Attic and obviously the people in the realm who have played it. I have been traveling. I have not lugging a PS5 on a plane to San Diego. I was doing a live show. So again, don't make no videos about me if I ain't played the game yet. Exactly. I'm not bringing that big beached whale of a system nowhere. No, I do. Y'all know I don't like that.
I just got to the start of World 4.
All right, no doubt. We're going to get to you. I got you. We got to get up with the Addict. This is his topic first, wherever he won't go with it. Astrobot, how we feeling?
King, go first.
Oh my God! Really?
Yeah.
So let's get
the disingenuous comments out the way.
So dudes want to say that my joints is disingenuous when I patron this game and I champion this little bot when the PlayStation fan base said they didn't want it.
So why is it that you always have to lead up like you're gonna rip the game in two?
Well, because I am though.
Right. So can we get our guest to go first?
Well, no, because
I want King to go first. I want King to go first.
Okay,
Addict said me, so it's me first.
Yes, he's right.
I'm always going last. I thank you, Addict. That's how Tango and Cash works. All right, so tell me you don't play Astrobot or haven't played an Astrobot game without telling me you haven't played an Astrobot game. But the fact that you make stupid comments like, oh, it surpasses Mario in every way. Oh, this is an incredible game. It's something that I've never seen. Yeah, of course you've never seen it because you never played the other stuff. You didn't play the tech demo that was inside your PlayStation 5. You didn't play the game, the Astrobot Playroom. You didn't play that. And you damn sure didn't buy the VR game.
Tell me about the VR. Educate us, Lord King.
Let's. How about those bosses that's in there? That's a regurgitated bosses. Like, how about that?
Wait, break it down. Educate me. I didn't know this.
The monkey. Did you see the monkey? Because I seen him before.
King said monkey.
Yes.
Am I correct?
Yes, he did say that.
Continue.
So this was it. What was it in the VR version of the Astrobot?
The VR.
Oh, so a lot of these. Okay.
What about the bird? What about the octopus? What about a lot of this stuff? I'm just saying, this looks like cutting room floor stuff to me.
Okay,
hold up. It took 60. It took 60 people to put it together, right?
Real quick, King. Where did these come from? Because I'm about to share my screen and we're about to see the comparison. Because I didn't know this.
I didn't know this.
You opening my mind. What game did these bosses come from?
Oh, you talking about the VR?
Rescue Mission.
The VR. It's called Rescue Mission. Yeah.
Okay.
Astrobot Rescue Mission.
So I heard the VR. I never played it, but I heard it was really.
It's dope.
So you did enjoy it though.
It's dope. Okay. I'm not saying that I didn't.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
When I was enjoying Astrobot, PlayStation dudes was like, "Oh, we don't play kiddie games. Get out of here." Like they were shaming me.
That's true.
I remember telling J-Dub, the best game on your PlayStation 5 came in the box. I remember saying that. So now, when y'all ain't got nothing out this year, The Messiah's here. All of a sudden, y'all like this kid. All of a sudden, y'all like him. Y'all didn't like him before, but now you have nothing. You love him. This is the greatest thing. Highest rated. Really, I'm not taking anything away from it. I'm gonna tell you my experience in playing.
All right, let's go.
It was just like the tech demo that I got in the box.
For
It
the
was just
VR.
for
The first
the
one?
PlayStation 5.
Come on. man.
No, don't. You can't say it didn't do anything different. It does the same things. It added different layers to what he can do.
Okay.
I'm not saying that it's like Mario. Like when Mario goes to Mario Odyssey or he goes to Mario Sunshine, maybe he gets a water pack. Maybe he gets this. Fundamentally, Mario doesn't change himself. What happens is the MacGuffin inside the game changes for Mario, right? So Mario kind of sort of plays the same. He has a different hat this time that he can throw on somebody else and become whatever that creature is. That's a cool
Oh
MacGuffin.
my god!
Wait, Attic, what? King done discovered something?
King's on to something.
Wait, King is
Yeah,
on this?
No, like
No
like
way.
that first boss is the same. That first
Pull up
boss
the screen.
is-
I shared it. I don't believe this. King actually, this ain't canon. This is actually
No,
factual.
This is
This
98%
isn't
right.
Kanan news. This isn't Kanan news.
Can you share your screen so I can see?
If y'all watch Xbox Frontline videos, y'all would have saw.
So you saying that the assets are the same in from the VR? Attic? Is that what you said?
They
Hold up, I'm
up-res them.
bringing it
You
now.
know how VR assets.
No, it's worse than that.
yes.
Like
Tell
it's
them,
essentially the
Attic,
same fight. It's essentially the same fight.
thing.
All right, share the
Can you
screen.
see
Let me
this?
see. Let me see. Yes, all right. Yep. Your share screen. Your share screen.
So
It's blank.
why didn't
Okay, there we go.
VR?
Okay.
Why didn't the VR
Okay,
get a
so
94?
All right.
Here's the boss from Rescue Mission.
Mm.
As you can see, no.
This is what you fought, Attic.
This is the PS5 one that just came out. Now let me go up a little bit.
Mhm.
I didn't know
It's the
this.
same-
It's literally.
I didn't know he was
I
going
didn't
to
know
approach it
this.
from this
Look.
because I could have told you the same thing.
Yeah, see, but the thing is,
the same move. Like it's even the same move.
I told y'all before, this is cutting floor assets that they mixed it up together, stirred it up in a pot, and gave you a different verse on a different beat.
Okay, now look. Here's the
Check it out.
octopus.
This
Check the
octopus.
octopus. Let's go.
Oh, it's the same. Yeah, it's the same.
Now the
Oh.
octopus
Yeah,
fights
yeah.
different, but it's
It's a little
literally
bit
the
different,
same
yeah.
character.
It's okay.
Guess
okay,
who that?
gotcha.
What about the bird?
I haven't fought a
King.
bird, so I can't.
Yo,
say
King
that
out
the
here
bird
acting
is-
like he got Drake's reference
listen.
tracks. Yo,
Yo,
I don't like
listen.
how you acting. You
Yeah,
acting like you got the
these
Quentin
are
Miller.
reference tracks. These are
You got the.
reference tracks. You spit those bars in '86, my
Oh, not like
guy.
this, King.
So you dudes out here, and I dare you come.
No,
from
but one thing I will say is that's not Kanan. Like I didn't play the rescue thing. It is
I
crazy
did.
that they reused two.
I
They
did.
they essentially
Yo,
just
Attic, they use
rebuilt.
more.
They essentially rebuilt the fight with the gorilla.
Mhm.
They just rebuilt it. But the octopus, like he was in lava before. Put him in water now. Like
Yo, so
Messy.
so that just goes to show you dudes ain't really PlayStation fans.
Mm.
Y'all are the moment dudes.
I didn't know. I'm not gonna lie.
I
didn't
will
know.
give King this. He supported the hell out that game.
Oh, he
I-
did.
and I ain't picking it up. He did the VR. He supported the hell of it.
I never had a PS.
I bought-
Yeah, he
I
bought
bought
it day
used.
one. No, let me tell you how real King is. To his defense, I know it's jokes and stuff, and he gets clout, but he was so about it. He was like, "Cog, I know you're getting ready to let me get." And he got my joint,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
he went through the
PlayStation
whole
VR 2 is
catalog.
right there.
Yeah, he
It's,
went
it's
through the whole
there.
thing.
I got all those games. The problem with these dudes are they're liars, bro. Every last one of these dudes that sat there and wrote their articles, they didn't play none of the other games.
Like King, it's like you play games to know this stuff.
Oh, yo,
I
you
know,
play
right?
games to do
No,
this.
I know, right? It baffles me how King is 98% right all the time, and all these dudes say King's lying.
All right, now you're bringing the 98% thing right now. I'm kind of like
Whoa.
pulling back from this conversation.
I feel you. I feel you. Fall back. Fall back. Don't run into this flaming house like me. Listen, I'm telling you, dudes. First of all, I like the game.
Okay.
Right? It's more of Astrobot.
Okay.
It's the same. Is it the greatest game since sliced bread? Hell no. It wasn't the greatest game since sliced bread when I was playing it from the beginning. It wasn't the greatest game since sliced bread when I was playing it in Astro Playroom, or when I brought the VR and nobody did. See, this is how things don't get supported, and dudes put out fake information and talk about, well, that boss was so unique, and I've never seen anything. Boy,
I didn't know.
All
that.
you had to do was go pick up the VR one and you played them.
I didn't know. I got to give you that. I didn't know
But
that.
so,
and it's not that they reused assets. Like they literally copied the gorilla
is the
fight.
same. The fight
Like
is the same.
That's crazy. Like, I'm sorry, other developers would have done that. They would have got a lot of flack.
that's like me coming out with Many Men today.
Talk about the new 50 Cent joint.
Many Men with death upon King, blood in my eye, dogs, and I can't see. You heard that before, right? Obviously, right?
Do you think this got me thinking for a moment.
What they was doing, a throwback, and they wanted to get some nostalgia feeling. That's what you gonna go with? Don't do that.
No. I was different train of thought.
Go for it.
One of the thing with the PSVR 2 that I gave it a lot of flack, and I still do, is that the no backwards compatibility with PSVR 1.
Mm-hmm.
You directly mentioning that the Astrobot boss fights
Mm-hmm.
are essentially lifted from the VR game, and the VR game is not playable on.
Tell them about the sinister moves, because I was going in next with that. Tell me
what move? What happened? What?
Okay, so what he's alluding to is Sony made sure that you could not go back a pat, right? So you wouldn't be able to play the first one and know in VR that, oh, we already did that, right? So it's whoever played it. Whoever knows it knows it. Is a hush secret.
Man!
And you PlayStation dudes thought us Xbox dudes was not gonna find out about your reference track. And I found out about you, Drake. I know what you do when you are not the hottest spitter. I got you, son. And listen,
Diago said something real quick. Diago said a really good point. I think what King is talking about is the lack of acknowledgement from reviewers about already existing bosses, and they are not new. So he's pretty much saying, like, reviewers didn't even bring that up. They're literally reusing. And it would be different if the gorilla was like one of the mini bosses that's in the game.
Nah.
That is the main boss in the game that they reused, like bar from bar from another game.
Not the Soldier Boy.
It's
Not
the first boss in both games. He's the first boss in both games. He is the sort of gatekeeper.
Wow.
He's like the tree in Kirby.
Yeah, he's your Glass Joe. Right?
To me, that doesn't like take a whole lot from it, but it is odd that
wait a second.
Reviewers didn't say bring that up like at all
Because they didn't play it.
Yeah, you're probably right there.
You didn't play it either, right?
But see, I was honest with that.
Yeah.
No. See, that's what I'm trying to tell you. I don't like dudes running around here with the cap and I've never seen this before.
Right, that's fair.
That's probably why we don't get invited to the podcast that they have.
That part, right? Dudes would never invite me anywhere because I know your dirty secrets. Like, I know what y'all do, but I actually am a fan. When I told you why I was upset with Sony, I never disrespect people. I disrespect the corporation because they're not familiar to me anymore. They're not who I remember them to be, right? The real Sony, my old school Sony, they would have never did that. Old school Sony, that would have been a whole new game from beginning to end. Something that you could hang Game of the Year hat on. But now he got an asterisk like he's Barry Bonds because your man taking steroids. All right, he got a cheat sheet knowing exactly what the moves that he did before, but you don't know the moves because you was over there and you didn't know that he was spitting those bars in Wisconsin.
You funny. Fawn's got a question. He said, did anyone actually get close to finishing the game? Or how many?
Literally on the last boss trying to get the bots to do it.
Because he says, because Fawn's going there. He said, because one boss out of how many in the creativity through the game is off the chart. Fawn's big mad at y'all.
Good. You can stand up.
Here's the thing. Like, this is where I am going to defend King. It's okay. The game is still a good game, but I can't name a time where someone just used literally a boss from and people are like bringing up Bowser. Almost every time you fight Bowser's in a unique way, from like Odyssey to what's the Galaxy one?
Right.
Like, look, is it the same concept? Yes, but you have different. They literally took this man's old fight. They literally get the first level is a remaster from the game. And that, like, it's like I said, I'm not going to like attack it too much from that, but I do understand where King's coming from. Where it's like, look, you're
when
giving
no
this
reviewer
game,
is saying that, yeah,
you're giving this game 94s and saying it's perfect almost, and it's literally reusing assets from 2 bosses.
Hold on,
from a previous game.
Foz will get it because he gonna play. We got to get Foz in because he going in. He going in. Stay tuned, Foz.
It's cool that dudes would have a different opinion of it. Didn't say it was a bad game. What I'm talking about is the reviewers, right? And the reviewers aren't really doing their jobs. We got to start listening to people that we can trust. And stop discrediting people just because you don't like how they act or how they talk or where they're from or they don't look like you. See, you would discredit me immediately because you rock for Xbox. That don't mean I don't speak truth. You cool when I disrespect Xbox and tell them what they did wrong. But when I say something wrong about Sony, I'm a bot. Yeah, I'm an Astrobot. The same Astrobot y'all didn't like, the same Astrobot y'all wasn't about, and the same Astrobot y'all didn't play because you wouldn't know that monkey was there anyway. But now today, y'all don't have no games, and he's the messiah to you. Y'all want him to be Game of the Year so bad because this is the stuff that y'all dudes live on. Y'all will not save Kong, and it's so dope that is a monkey boss that done
They
you
don't
in.
have to say Kong. Xbox is saving Kong.
No. We sending them over stimmies. Relax. We got to keep them alive. Because
Pretty big stimmies.
We got a battle with Ghidorah, and we just need him to take care of that. But nah, I like the game a lot. I'm not even gonna hold you, but I got a lot of the game out, and I played it last night when I got back from the movies watching Beetlejuice. So I said, let me play it. I was gonna stream it. I said, nah, I'm gonna stream the rest of it on Monday and Tuesday and on Twitch. But I said, let me play it, and I'm playing it. I'm like, no, they didn't. No, they didn't. So I ran upstairs to my son's room, threw on the PlayStation VR 1, and threw on the Astrobot joint. I said, they did. They did it, son. They did it, son.
I feel like I want to get Forte as well. He said, we ain't going to act like no more than 500 people played that VR game. You don't know what you don't know. Most reviewers didn't review the VR game, but I understand where King is at.
And not my fault that they didn't do their job. It's not my fault that you're going to claim that something is the greatest thing since sliced bread, and you didn't research that bread is old. It's not my fault.
Agree with King.
See,
I'll agree with King when he's talking with the point he just made about like at least reference the fact that the bosses are like at least like lifted or partially lifted from prior games.
That's crazy. I didn't know that, man. That's
I
crazy.
didn't know either. Like, listen,
I'm a console warrior. I need to know what the enemy is doing in order to shoot back.
like when I did the review for Sonic Frontiers, I made it very clear that hey, Green Hill Chemical Plant are back again. And obviously a lot of people know that already, but it's important that people know that, hey, this is from the older games. Some level designs from the older games are going to be in here in some capacity. You got to just inform people like, hey, the older games did this too. So that way, and
no, that's fair.
And if that kind of leans into how you score
who do you write for, sir? What outlet do you work for? Because I really need to follow you and your reviews because you sound like you do your research. What excuse me, please say that again, sir.
Oh, of course, General. I write for
Of course, General.
Oh,
that is not co-opted at all. Of course, General.
Completely on the up and up.
Yeah, that sounds like the beacon of integrity there.
Hold up. I don't like that. People are saying, well, games use old assets all the time. There's a difference between using old assets to build a new experience and literally taking an encounter from a previous game and say, that's ours. Like literally, I showed you them using the little, it's literally the same fight. Like there's no way around that. The octopus, sure, it's in lava instead of water, and I'll give them a little bit of creativity, I guess, for changing that. Right. But the octopus and the gorilla are two of the main 5 fights in the game. Well, I assume there might be more, when it comes to the main bosses.
Right.
I find it crazy that I didn't know this.
Yeah, no reviewer said that. I have to give King that. I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
If y'all watch Xbox Frontline News, I drop videos daily. The last video I dropped talked about it, but I'm just saying.
So let's talk about the game. All right, and I want to get Arcade Attic, let you get your buzz off in reference to everything you play, because the reception, regardless to now that we know about this controversy, what have you, but the reception of the game is really strong. So Arcade, as a person who loves platformers, you know, and kind of that vibrant style, what was your experience playing Astrobot?
Man, it's one for context, I had no idea about the bosses, so I'm not going to take that into account right now for my impressions. But I love it so far. It is one of my favorite games this year, and I feel like the big reason is it wears that Studio Japan love on its sleeve, and in a lot of ways, it reminds me of some of the greatest like Nintendo games I remember playing as a kid. Like the Galaxy games, everyone's comparing it to the Galaxy games, and I can kind of see where they're coming from. But in a lot of ways, Astrobot feels like Team Asobi looked at some of the greatest platformers and greatest games Nintendo and other developers made and say, how can we apply that to what we've already established with Astrobot? Because another Astrobot is, I will fully admit, I never played the VR game. The only experience with Astrobot that I played was the Playroom demo when I got my PlayStation 5 in December 2022. And when I played, and a lot of the same mechanics from that game also carry over to this new one. And like Astrobot has the hover ability with his little delays that can damage enemies. He has his punch, he has his spin attack. But the main thing that really makes Astrobot feel special in comparison to, well, the Playroom was special too, but what it elevates it is it takes mechanics and ideas that Playroom introduced, like the whole ability, like you wear the monkey suit and you climb in with the tilts and the controllers. There's no monkey suit. It's just the little monkeys on the back. It hangs out on Astro's back, and you get, in addition to being able to climb, just like how you did in the Playroom game, you also could pick up objects and throw them with the triggers. Like you have like 2 different dashes, one upward dash, one forward dash. Nice. You have boxing gloves, which are really cool. I love. Like the resistance with the triggers feels awesome. And
it's like there's even like little like touches kind of like to Nintendo games specifically.
Really?
Oh yeah, like
Pikmin, right?
Pikmin, the gloves themselves, the way they kind of come out, it's like, oh wait a minute, I played this game before
like
on
arms.
Nintendo.
Arms.
Exactly, it's arms.
Hey, they spitting everybody bars.
And the thing is, even though Astrobot wears like its inspirations very firmly on its sleeves, it doesn't change the fact that it still is a incredibly polished, beautiful, well-designed 3D platformer. And one of the things that helps elevate it is how it represents the PlayStation franchises that it incorporates. The PlayStation franchises are used as collectibles. As you're running on the level, you get these cute little cameos of iconic PlayStation characters, and you also collect coins, and you can use these coins to actually buy like companion items for the character. So you find Jack in one of the levels, and you're like, okay, where's Daxter? You spend 100 coins, and you little guy is on his shoulder again. Like so many other references from not just PlayStation games, but just third-party games in general. Like I'll just talk about, like, because these are like level 1, World 1, World 2 unlocks. It was so nice seeing the Persona characters as little, cute little robots.
Ooh, we have Persona in the building.
Yeah, Joker shows up in the casino level, very fitting. And then Igus and Teddy are like some of the challenge levels, which are really hard.
That's really hard.
And one bot that I found made me go, what? Was in the hub area. And once you getting to like the second world, like in that general area, you you found Amaterasu from Okami.
All right. Ooh. All right. The chat getting mad. They said don't spoil too much.
Yeah,
Now they
you
get
talking
mad.
too much.
They say that for the review for the Lawrence game down there.
I thought y'all guys was PlayStation dudes and y'all was day ones in your purchase.
Oh,
I
my
mean,
God.
how you gonna have an Xbox dude running out here and having 80 something bots that he already know more about the game than you? How you gonna have an Xbox dude play the VR that y'all was supposed to buy years ago? How you gonna have an Xbox dude tell y'all what's going down?
I got 194 bots.
I got 130 something.
That's out of control. And how many do they have? None.
Ridiculous. Continue.
I'll stop with the kid. I'm sorry for spoiling.
No, you good. You good.
But I guess I'll just allude to this. But
Yes.
what they do, like every time you beat one of the main bosses, you save a iconic PlayStation character, and then you go to a level inspired by those games. And when I say inspired, I mean mechanics and elements of those games are fully replicated in some capacity.
Fire King, stop hating.
No, what I'm laughing at is they was inspired by the Astrobot and VR.
Stop hating, King.
So
Fire.
they took you back to the old boys.
Fire. I got you, Fonz. You got you. Let RK finish his bar. You up next.
Number one.
Oh, Fonz ready.
In most big franchise platformers like Mario, you do fight the same guys over and over. It happens.
Do you do it the same way that you did it the first time?
But the same exact way, though?
That first boss, I had no idea. You know why? And 99% of people out there will have no idea because they didn't buy VR.
I'm the 1% dude.
No, I get
you
that,
are the
Fonz.
1% dude. 100%.
And I'm valid because I spend more money than the 99% dudes. Those dudes that claim to rep, those dudes that claim to do research, those dudes that want to write an article.
I know who you're talking to.
No,
I know exactly the people you're talking to.
No, I'm not talking to anybody specific because I don't look at anybody's stuff.
I know. It's in general terms. You're talking to these journalists that say they know everything, they buy everything, they play everything.
No, it's not even that. It's the toxic fanboys. I'm not even worrying about those.
Well, they're the same person half the time.
Exactly. So there you go. I'm just talking about the individuals that feel that they represent something and they really don't. It's just cap.
Yeah.
If I can point it out, right? This is what I'm trying to tell these dudes. Be careful what you're talking about. Like just I like the game a lot. I do. I played all of them. Is it game of the year? No. Why? Because some of the stuff that's inside the game that I played, that I'm the 1% that I can deduct points off of because I played it already, because I did that. I can be mad at that because I paid money for that. I'm mad at that.
How many bosses?
Yeah. No, it's not. It's not one.
It was one.
It's not one.
It's this one boss that's the same fight, I guess, from the VR thing. But
you just said you didn't play the VR game, right? So how would you know it's just one?
Because you guys talked about it and you said the
But King played it and he said it's more than one.
It's the bird, it's the octopus.
Listen, I don't want to sit here and spoil.
Are they different are they different mechanics?
I don't want
to.
Wait, let me hear. I'm sorry, go ahead. I want to hear
octopus is different.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to spoil anything really too much for the individuals that actually were waiting to do it, because I don't know everybody's.
Yeah, that's true, and I'm not going to spoil anything because there's a lot of cool things within this game.
The game is dope.
There is things within this game that truly had my jaw on the floor a couple of times because I was so impressed with the creativity that Asobi, is that what?
Team Asobi.
Their creativity is just off the charts in this game. I was blown away. And I've played games like Mario Wonder with my kids. I've played a ton of Mario games back in my day. But this screams that level of quality that Nintendo has for their platformers as well. I'm not saying, it's better than Mario and it's going to surpass Mario. I'm not one of those guys, but I will say, is it every bit as good as those games are? Yes. At this level, this game is freaking amazing at what it does. And I was blown away because, let me say this. When I first bought my PlayStation 5 and it came with the Astrobot tutorial thing, I didn't give it a fair shot.
Really?
I only played it about half an hour, and I was like, I don't like these controls. I hated the adaptive
Because it was like a dual
triggers.
sense. Yeah,
I'm
the
not
trigger.
messing
Yeah,
with this stuff, and I just put it down because I thought, this is just a tech demo for that dual sense controller, and I don't want nothing to do with it. I turned off all that stuff, and since every game I played on my PlayStation, I never played with even the rumble in it, because as people know, I don't play with rumble even in my Xbox controllers. Just don't do it.
Okay.
Now, here's the thing. Here's the other thing this game did for me.
Talk to me.
So I started to turn back some of these features on. I still don't care about adaptive triggers. Still don't like them. I don't like to fight the trigger.
The resistance.
I get annoyed with the grabbing thing. Like that gets frustrating sometimes.
I don't like that part.
I feel like
don't
I
like the
understand
motion-
they
the
want you to
motion,
do
like-
it, but it
like-
should be
yeah,
optional
yeah.
to turn off if you want to.
Yeah, and I turn that stuff off, and I turn off the motion thing. You know that motion thing
Oh yeah.
where you can move the control.
When
Yeah,
you
I'd rather
like
use the
you
left
playing
stick
like
for that stuff.
Warhawk.
Yeah.
Because
That's old school. PS1, baby. Yeah.
Yeah, because
But
dudes
now-
would tell you that it's something new, but didn't ever play Warhawk because they told
That's a
you
fact.
flying into the board
That's
is
a
something
fact.
incredible
That's a fact.
and something that has never been done.
That's a fact. Kid
But
is right.
I've done that from my PlayStation
I don't
playing
like that.
Warhawk.
Blair also
So-
did that too.
So the thing
Yep,
that's
Blair.
done for me though, where it's really opened my eyes, is that little speaker there, along
dope.
with the subtle
So
vibrations
good.
they give you,
It's dope.
the tactile feeling you get when you are sliding on ice. It
Yeah,
feels
versus
like
the
I'm standing
terrain.
on ice.
Yes.
It feels like I'm on ice. I was sitting there. I was like, oh my God. And I gave it to my daughter. And I go, feel that. And we were both like, and I'm sitting there and I'm just, I found myself skating around on the ice, just going, wow, now I get it. And then there was this one section where you get these raindrops hitting your controller and the pitter patter and you hear it and you feel it and you're like, now I get why.
Yeah.
People are loving this.
Open up your
controller.
heart,
It's
kid.
not
They
the
had that
adaptive
money.
Triggers. It's not the
No, I'm not
the
doing that.
motion
Yeah.
stuff
Returnal
But
did it
it's
too
that
with the
speaker
brain.
with the vibrations and stuff that
Yeah.
work in a cohesive manner, and it's perfect. I couldn't stop smiling playing this game. Amazing time. Like it took me almost 15 hours to beat it, and because I was going back through levels to try to find more bots. And that's not me. I'm not usually that type of guy when I play my games. But this game was such a joy to play. That's the one word I would use, joy.
I can say this: if you
Pure
really
freaking
like
joy.
this game, you would really love the PlayStation VR version.
So I'm not a big VR fan. I get sick easy.
I'm messing
so
with you.
that's the thing. That's the thing. I
Yeah,
get
fair enough. And I want to ask you this, Faz, real quick.
Yeah,
okay.
I have no negatives, not one with this game. I enjoyed my time with it immensely. There, well, actually, if I were to say anything negative, it would be that some levels seem too easy. I wish the
I
difficulty
think the
level,
whole
I
damn
wish it was
game's a little
slighter.
too easy.
Yeah, I mean most of it, but there was a couple of bosses that gave me some sort of challenge, but it wasn't enough to where I was frustrated at all. And that is a good thing, especially when you're making a game for everyone.
Everyone for a younger generation, exactly.
Yeah,
Look,
PC
what I
players,
wanted to ask,
PlayStation
because
players,
again,
everyone.
I'm doing a live show. I've been traveling. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't get to say, please don't make a video because I didn't play this week. But my question is, don't make a video. So my thing is, like, for a guy that loves, like, I'm weird, Fonz. I'm one of the PlayStation people who really love PlayStation 1. Like, I have like heartstrings for PlayStation 1, a lot of those classic IPs. And I'm hearing stories like, there's some
they do
throwbacks
stuff.
for you.
Yeah.
There's some deep cuts for me.
I'm telling you right now, you're gonna grin ear to ear when you beat World 1.
You're gonna grin several times then.
And that
and you will and you know what, one of the things that made me want to go look for the other bots, I have like 258 out of the 300, and I'm not one that, and this is the crazy part, I'm not the guy that achievement hunts or trophy hunts or does any of this kind of stuff in a game. But the reason why I went back looking for these bots is because above each bot that has, like, if it's a cameo from a PlayStation character or a character that's been on a PlayStation game in the past from a famous franchise, they'll have the little triangle X and O's above the the missing bot's head.
Okay.
So you'll want to find that. If you see that's missing, you'll go, I want to see who that is. And when you find him, it's like, oh, there's Dante.
Dope.
Oh, there's this.
Dope.
Did you get a kick out of like some of the little blurbs when you get the bots? There was one bot that I got recently, like a Mel Gidge related one.
Oh,
I was like,
and then there is a vending machine where you can go and spend your coins in this vending machine and get items for each bot, and also unlock skins for your bot. So I have all the skins unlocked. I have all the skins for my bot unlocked, and I had a blast. I can't express enough. Like, this is honestly one of the best games I played this year. Outside of Elden Ring DLC, that's my top. That's my game of the year.
Okay.
This is easily my second favorite game of this year.
Fun's going hard. Let me get
easily. And I'm not a Sony or Xbox.
Yep,
dude.
I know.
I'm in the middle here, and I'm telling you, I understand where some of these people are coming from, saying that this game is amazing because
it's like a love letter. It's like a love letter, and obviously the attention to detail, the subtlety. I do want to get Saul because I'm very curious. So, like, your thoughts on it. Obviously, you have the full spectrum, right? You've played VR, you've played this. As a person who's also OG, you go get a lot of the references, you got to get a lot of the nuance. What's your feeling about it?
So yeah, when it comes to the VR thing, I had the VR for like VR1 for all of I don't think it was even 6 months, and I played Astrobot Rescue Mission and Moss, and that was it. I didn't play anything else. So yeah. It was funny. I didn't know that King was going to go that way with it because I noticed it too. I was like, wait a minute, I've seen this before, and it was the only thing that I had seen because I only beat the first world, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. I mean, I didn't remember the specifics of the fight, so I didn't realize how almost 1-to-1 it was. So yeah,
well,
the
mechanics aren't exactly the same in the gorilla fight, but it was a VR game, so clearly they were going to build onto it.
Exactly. So it's very close. And just to give a little context for the stuff that King said, I'll tell you right now, I did a quick surface level search.
Okay.
Only 3 sites mentioned the fact that they were reused bosses, and they weren't any of the big ones. We have a site called the Direct. We have
shout out to the Direct.
Tech Radar, which is kind of big, right?
Tech Radar, my guys.
And comingsoon.net. That's it.
Coming soon, the doom for the rest of the people.
So the argument holds weight. It really does. It's like, hey, I should have just brought this up, right? Even if it's whatever. Because again, I think for the most part, everybody thinks the same thing. The game is great. Yeah. The game is great. It is the best platformer that I have played that doesn't have Mario in the title.
Ooh, that's big. That's big. Fix your face, King.
It is.
I'm not saying that
doesn't have
good.
Mario. Doesn't have Mario in the title. The best platformer I have played that does not have Mario in the title.
The best platformer died on September 6th. No, I'm just joking.
Yo.
Wow.
Hey, yo. Continue.
Oh, by the way. Oh, did you guys catch the Concord cameo?
I haven't gotten far enough. You're spoiling a lot, brother.
We're gonna have to put the stop snitching on Arcade.
No, I think he's talking about the meme. The meme.
The meme. Oh, okay.
The meme. Okay.
Yeah, okay. I see that. They messy. They had a dead bot. They was like, yo, we found.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
So
disrespectful. Don't do that to Firewalk like that. It's too soon. Continue. So.
But yeah, I mean, I agree with Fonz in that. I was smiling ear to ear just playing the game because everything about the game is a love letter to the history of PlayStation, and it is basically a big blown out extension of the Astrobot, Astro's Playroom, that you got. It really is that, and it really is the only game that really shows you everything that PlayStation 5 is capable of. Hardware, it incorporates everything that is that PS5 in such a beautiful way that if there was a question before, there's no question now. Astro is the mascot for PlayStation. There is in the PS4 generation, you could have picked any of the protagonists from the games, and it could have been the mascot for a certain period of time. Astrobot is now the mascot for PlayStation.
Oh, that's
So I can't wait for you to get further into the game. There is a couple of moments that happen in the game that I truly just like, because I didn't spoil myself. I didn't look up anything, or I knew nothing. I went into it blind, and I said, let me just give it a shot, because shout out to Colt Eastwood. He was the one that was pushing me to get it, because he was like, bro, I really think you would like Astrobot if you gave it a chance, you know? And so I did, because he loves it too. He's still playing it right now, and he's loving it. And the thing is, so I played the game, and I didn't know things were going to happen within the game, and they were happening. And I was like, oh, are you kidding me? I get to do this. I was like, wow. Like I was blown away. Like, really. So, it was so fun.
So what I played of it so far, to me, and like if people start making the Mario comparisons, and is the world open like a 3D Mario game? No. Are the mechanics, at least to this point, as in depth and involved as a Mario game? No.
Yeah, Mario's way more in depth than Astrobot is. They're not
even
on the same.
Y'all gassing Don up. Don't do that.
No, but it's the truth.
They're not even on the same remote planet.
Oh, Don gonna be. He gonna send 6 super chats now.
Astrobot is remedial math, and Mario is algebra.
Listen, Sony's outside. They got that. He go ahead. He gonna slap his hat off.
I did not mean for that to
slap
be
his kufi off. He gonna slap his plumber's kufi off. Astrobot outside.
You guys are right about the open world aspect. When it comes to the open world aspect, this is way more linear. But that's not an issue. Not an issue at all.
No, it is. I'm talking about just differences for me, right? Like
exactly. But when it comes to creativity, it's every bit as creative as a Mario game.
I'd have to disagree on that. Like, there's some stuff that I saw on like Galaxy and stuff.
Sorry.
What do you mean Xbox? Just because I disagree with you, you got to say some stuff like that.
Addict.
No. We're going to talk about that, Bonds. Just because I said Mario has more in-depth mechanics, you have to say some stuff like that.
Because it doesn't. It factually doesn't. They both have equally the amount of creative mechanics and stuff within the games.
Did you play Wonder
in this game? Yes, I played Wonder. I played Wonder with my kids. I played it. I know exactly what you do in Wonder, and yes, it had some creative mechanics. Great game, but so is this. That's all I'm saying. Like anybody who's saying, "Oh, it doesn't get even near that game," which is what you said, I will disagree with.
Okay, well, disagree with my argument. Disagree with my opinion. See if I give a shit.
language. It's okay to disagree. It's just y'all don't agree. Y'all don't agree on the game.
Love for you, Addict. I'm not hating on you. I'm just telling you, like,
I'm just tired of every time I have an opinion, someone wants to detract it because
I get you.
Make Xbox
I will defend Addict on this. I will defend you on this.
Literally, the go-to for everyone. I disagree with any. Oh, it's just because you have Xbox.
That I don't like that part. I got it. That part we could have fixed that part.
I get that all the time. People in the chat.
They say that to me all
the
time.
I get that, but the only thing, hold on, let me just back this up. The only thing I do have to agree with Addict is, look, both of you guys love each respective game, and that's fair, right? All I'm saying is when someone devalues someone's point by saying, "Oh, well, you're just a fan of a platform and you got blind on that," without thinking that they could legitimately feel that way, I could understand how my brother could feel that way. You know what I'm saying? Like it would be like me coming to you, like, "Oh, you only saying that now because you're a PC dude." You know what I'm saying? Like that's all. So I just want us to get away from that, and even though we disagree, but back on point.
True. Yeah. Addict, I apologize for saying that.
It's not just you. It's just like every time I say anything on anything, it's like, oh, you're an Xbox dude. When I play more PlayStation games than the people in the chat criticizing me for playing PlayStation games.
I feel you, brother. The man apologizes.
At the same time, like I said, I get it all the time. I just let it roll off my back. Factual. I'm the pony bot. I'm always the pony bot.
You can't win at all, Fox. They don't like you for nothing.
They don't even call me a pony bot.
Get out of here. Go to Xbox. Get out of here. It's like,
fair enough.
They don't even call me a pony bot. That sucks. And I'm like, why can't I be a pony bot?
My bad, Saul. I interrupted. Finish your boss.
Listen, I'm back.
You're back. It's tradition for us to interrupt you. Come on. My bad. Go ahead.
But I will, like I said, those comparisons aside, right? So for me, looking at it, if I'm going to put one over the other, I haven't beaten this game yet, so I'm not going to make that assessment yet. What I have seen, what I talked about, it's not as open, right? But that isn't necessarily a negative. And in terms of the complexity of the mechanics, it's not the same. But again, isn't necessarily negative. This is different. So I'm gonna wait till I finish the game to make that assessment.
Fair.
What I have played of it so far, though, what it does achieve that Nintendo still hasn't achieved, it's just that, hey, it's 4K, it's 60. It's like, we're not going to get that on Nintendo platform more than likely because they don't care
fidelity,
about
that fidelity.
So that thing that you want from a Mario game for it to be 4K, it's usually, Mario games are usually 60, right? They do run at 60.
He don't look like that.
Yeah, but see, he don't need to do that. That's the thing. Because he's nice in 900p.
Would you like it at 4K? Would it be nicer at 4K? Yes,
no,
it would be. It would be.
What I would say this is, when you nice, no matter what resolution it is, you're a god.
That's a fact.
This is what I'm talking about. So dudes got to be 4K so y'all can say 4K though.
It was at like 480p on that VR, and you loved it. So
and I'm not saying I don't love it now. Why y'all acting like I don't love it now?
It don't sound like you love it the way you came out here. It ain't sound like you loved it.
You know what it is though? It is because
you know the real.
It's like, you can't say Drake had album of the year once you heard the reference track.
Basically, what you saying is, it would be like in hip hop. Someone saying, this is a 5-mic album, but you like, fam, he spit those verses before on the Clue mixtape. He did this. Yes. Not every song. Obviously, the whole package of the album is dope as a pack. You just saying, if you were a real fan of this dude, you would know that. I get that.
At the very least, bring it up.
And that's it.
And I'm seeing dudes run out with a cape on, screaming from the highest. Dude, you ain't got no games this year. This is the only reason why Messiah Bot is rocking.
All right, but King, in defense of that group, though, can you at least admit that regardless to the bars, and we give you that,
right?
It ain't make you feel good inside.
No,
it ain't make you feel like, okay, so this is that Sony I like a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Come on. And I'm gonna say this. This is where I'm gonna go right back to my whole stance on Sony.
Okay.
I've been around enough to love them. I've been here long enough to get the references. I'm the dude they was talking to. They wasn't talking to you because you didn't support. So I'm the dude they talking about when you see a little monkey. Y'all don't even know the genesis of this fraud alert.
Talk about that ape escape. Talk to him. Right. Talk to him, King.
Y'all don't know what
they not Sony dudes like that.
So you think I'm calling you a fraud? No, bro. I was capturing monkeys.
That's a fact. Literally, no cap. That was his profile picture, Melon Buster, and he had the ape escape. Yep, I know he ain't capping, y'all. I say if it's canon that he's going. This is official tissue.
I brought a Vita. I supported Ape Escape, and it killed my franchise. I love it so much. I love Sony so much. In all they used to do, they don't do it no more. You no longer look the same. You no longer moving the same. You disrespect me all the time. I can't rock with you. So that's where that is. But as far as this game goes, I supported Astrobot when y'all was saying that he wasn't cool.
I feel you.
So all of a sudden now he's cool because you have nothing.
I feel you. I get that. Can I jump in? Sorry, unless you got your boss. Unless you didn't finish. I'm sorry, because we interrupted Saul a zillion times. So I want to make sure you got all your balls before I go.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
So what I played with, I like a whole lot. I think it controls beautifully. It oozes production value and reverence and love for PlayStation, top to bottom. What I am glad about, regardless of what we just discussed about things being reused or whatever, I am glad that it is now in a form that everybody can enjoy it. Because even people who got their PlayStation should have played that demo. A lot of people didn't. I'm sure a lot of people did not play that. A lot of people got their PS5 and went to, at launch, play Demon Souls or play whatever. A lot of people probably did not play Playroom because that's just the way it is. It's a demo, whatever. It's not a full game. People just overlook it. So now I'm so happy that the Astrobot is in a form that people will want to play and enjoy it, and hopefully, it'll continue to, proliferate the fact that
the form of desperation
that it is a great platformer unto itself. I really do think, it is a delightful game to play. I will not take that away from it at all. Again, I'm hoping to be more surprised with the stuff I'm seeing I'm going to see in the future levels. I only did finish up to the monkey boss, and everything there was cool, but everything felt like it was okay. This is this is us kind of holding your hand a little bit to get you used to the controls, but the controls are very simple, right? It really is kind of just the attack, the jump, the double jump that allows you to hover, and then specific mechanics that come up in certain points in the game, like Robert was alluding to, the fact that you'll get like the dog on your back, or you get the rabbit on your back, or whatever, and that'll allow you to do different things. Yeah, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Like I said, if I were to compare it now to what I've done in the past in Mario games and the detail of that,
come back when you get to the end, and then we revisit. But
I think, like I said, so far it is the best platformer that I have played that does not have a Mario in the name. And I've played like A Hat in Time is great. That's kind of an old school style platformer. Penny's Big Breakaway, another one that's very much in that vein, kind of like Banjo-Kazooie, Mario 64. Those are great as well. This is different. This is and you guys talked about how it might be a little bit too easy. I think that's kind of the point. Also, they want young gamers to try to look at it, and even if they don't have the reference points, right, it just looks like it's something that's fun to play and easy to get into. So I think they kind of hit that out of the park too, if the younger demographic is interested in it without knowing the history of all these characters. So I think they've positioned it to do very well, and I hope it does very well, because I think it is a stellar game.
Now, what I want to ask the panel, because no one talked about it, you got two aspects of it. It's huge. So the first one, which came across my line that I was very surprised by, is the Days Gone director from Ben Studio. So obviously, for those who don't know, obviously Ben Studio's creative director, the ex-director John Garvin, and he had made a statement in reference to, I believe, Ben Studio themselves had put up a tweet because their character from Days Gone, Deacon, is in the game. Right, motorcycle. You remember Zombie Joint? You know what I'm saying? But that Days Gone. So he was not happy. He went to Twitter and he basically was saying that that they've basically failed to protect the legacy of the game. He had a comment that, I see my character being reduced to a cartoon shill promoting some small game, and I'm harsh. And he was not backing down from the community. The community was going at him like, yo, like, this is a love letter, like, you shouldn't feel that way. And he didn't feel that way. So pretty much, this went going on. He made it said that he's kind of sad, because basically how it started is Ben Studio put the tweet out with Deacon on the beach. He said his job is beach. Big congrats to our friends Team Asobi on the launch for Astrobot. And then he quote tweeted Ben Studio and said it's kind of sad that Deacon has been reduced to promoting other games. Well done, Ben Studio. Way to protect your legacy. So obviously we know the animosity, we know the history. Remember, Days Gone unfortunately wasn't never afforded to get a sequel, and then he's still carrying on. So this went on for a bit. The Ben Studio put out a statement in response to him, and basically said, we are aware of the comments made by our previous director on Days Gone regarding his personal view on the critical reception of the intellectual property. Ben Studio does not share his sentiment, nor does it reflect the views of our team. Our studio is immensely proud of the work we accomplished on Days Gone and are thankful to every developer who poured their heart and soul into it. He said, we're incredibly humbled by the support of Days Gone, and we'll continue to share the enthusiasm. So, yeah, this was a little bit of a thing. So I'm just curious. I wanted to bring that part up because
comments.
Okay, let me get Addy, because I feel like he got enough balls today. Let me and then I got you okay next. So
can I talk about the overall game real quick?
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Go for it. So one thing I really enjoy about Astrobot is they constantly switch up, like almost every level something different. By the time you get like the same ability that you had like a couple maps ago, it's like they like introduce it, then they take it away for like sometimes an entire galaxy, so that when you get it again, it feels like it's new again. So I really appreciate that. I like the bot mechanic that's in the base thing, where you use the bots to like do certain things. It's kind of like Pikmin to a degree from Nintendo. Like I feel like they looked at Nintendo's libraries like, what can we steal? Like, there's a lot a pigment in this. Like,
And that's
like
where, that's what I was getting at too, Addict, is those mechanics as well that you do in there as well was refreshing. It was cool.
So I will say when it comes to platformers, I think that it's definitely better than Odyssey. Because I wasn't the biggest fan of Odyssey. But I like Wonders more than this one.
Gotcha.
And I actually liked Ori and the Will of the Wisp more than this game too. So
Okay.
I think Ori is probably one of the best platformers I've ever played because it's got those escape scenes, the bosses. Like I thoroughly enjoyed my time, and it's not like the blind. I think it's the Blinded Forest, the first one. Like it's better than the first Ori, but I don't think it's better than the second Ori. I am kind of curious because my chat, because I streamed like 7-8 hours of the game. I'm kind of curious because my chat kept saying stuff like, nostalgia, and I do agree with them to a degree. It's like, they did captivate a lot on nostalgia in this game, but I don't think that takes away from the overall game. Like the game is good. Would I say like in terms of like game of the year? It's definitely a contender. It's not my personal game of the year because to me, it's a high quality platform. If you guys remember when Psychonauts 2 came out, we had the same retro coming out. When Odyssey came out, same thing. Every time we get a good platformer, it's the same thing on Twitter.
Facts.
Like
Right, that's a fact.
People are a prisoner of the moment. Like this game is amazing, high quality, but it's not doing a whole lot that's not been done out of the games. It might do certain things better than other games have done, but it's not doing anything like crazy. Like there's what I like about it is there'll be other places where like, okay, this whole world, you're gonna do this mechanic. What I like about Astrobots, they're like, no, we're not doing that. This world of this galaxy, you're gonna do this mechanic, and then this world, you're gonna do this mechanic, and then maybe you could do this mechanic again in the next galaxy. So it's like I said, by the time you're revisiting these mechanics, they've left you and came back. Like pretty much every time you fight a boss, they give you a random upgrade. And when like one of the things that I really enjoyed is like seeing what I'm fighting the boss with. Oh, how is this fight gonna go? Like bosses are extremely they're really unique. They have really good fighting structures. The mini bosses feel like main bosses by themselves, but there's not really like a lot of like I consider like a main boss like phases. You know what I'm saying? There's many bosses that are just there for show.
Okay.
Like they want you to do like this one mechanic, but it's cool doing it and it's lit doing it. And I appreciate it because a lot of people will throw like these mini bosses in the game, and then once you beat them, like they're just pretty much lower health pool than your previous main boss. They're like, no, we're gonna put a giant robot for you to climb and kill. So I really enjoyed stuff like that because they always switched it up. The biggest thing that I can give this game is adaptability and willingness to experiment every mission.
Dope.
Sure, has the majority of these mechanics been done in another game? Yes, but have they been done as good as this game in every level? Because I want us to say there wasn't one level that there was one level that's one of the PlayStation levels that I was not feeling. They made you do the motion sensor thing. I don't mind doing that. I didn't know you could turn it off, but Fonz just said it. I don't mind doing that, but my thing is like I don't mind doing that for like a gimmick, like you have to slingshot or something. I don't like
For a whole level, right?
Whole level being revolved around that. So that's pretty good. Like it's definitely a game of the year contender. Even regardless, I didn't know they reused boss assets.
Right.
I do think that should have been. That's not necessarily an attack on the game. That's an attack on the reviewers that just conveniently left out using like a complete boss assets. Like it's literally mind baffling to me that they're using a character model, some mini bosses apparently. That's what King said, and two of the main bosses are just reused assets from another game. Like I personally feel like even Nintendo might get attacked for that a little bit. Like I've never seen just a straight rip. Bowser's different. Bowser is a main antagonist of a game. It's like equivalent of using like Gandalf. Like those are got to be consistent in the games because that's what Mario is. But it is kind of baffling that do I think it should have been decreased? No, probably not, because they built up the boss fights. They they're not just what they were because they were VR at that time. So they had like one gimmick and that's all. Like these people have been built up to do more than one thing. So I wouldn't have attacked it, but it is crazy that no one brought it up.
Fair enough.
That's the biggest.
I'm sorry. Yeah. No, please finish.
So, it comes down to it. I do think this is a Game of the Year contender. Out of $60 is definitely, I mean, I'm probably about 9-10 hours into it and I'm on the last map. So replayability, I do feel like if you don't care about collectibles, it's going to suffer there. But if you enjoy the first one, you enjoy a good platformer, it's worth the 60, like all day long, every day long. And I think that it's definitely a Game of the Year contender. I wouldn't. It's one of those things where it's not my Game of the Year, but I'm not
mad if someone say like that's.
I'm not quote tweeting someone on Twitter saying, "Are you serious?" So, I can understand why it would be someone's Game of the Year, but to me, right now, my Game of the Year is Rebirth. Like that was the game for me. But it's like I said, the game is phenomenal. It is. It's great. But I will say, and this is my last thing, this is a game that even though it's great, it shows that this year's been a little lacking in high quality games because I feel like this game smacked in last year, it wouldn't get this much praise that it's getting this year. This is a very high quality game in a year where there's a lot of, lukewarm King games that has been surrounding the year. Doesn't mean it's bad. I think Astrobot's an amazing game, but I do think people are blowing it a little bit out of proportion. Not a lot. I still think it's like a high rated. Why do you think
that is?
Oh Lord.
I don't know. I still think it's a high rated game, but
I think because they don't have any games.
I can't really. I mean, they got.
I'm messing with you.
We're not getting.
To me, when it comes to like the Metacritic, I would give this more of like an 8.9, 8.8. Once you get 94, like that's kind of insane. And the reason it was able to achieve that 94 is because, like I said, it was consistent. When you're consistent, you could do a lot of things.
All right,
it was consistent with the quality and the mechanics.
I gotta ask, because we ain't asked, what are we feeling about the game director for Ben Studio, former? And
I respect him. I respect you seeing your asset thrown over there because a dude needed to do a throwaway line on his freestyle. Like, why you mentioning my name, B? Like, why am I in your verse? Like, don't you got other stuff? Aren't you creative?
They own the rights, King.
Listen, I'm just messing with you. Listen, I gotta uphold the Xbox front line.
Right? Clearly.
All right,
Clearly.
So listen, I gotta uphold that. But on all seriousness, I do call out stuff that I see. Now, if that's his asset or whatever he probably made and probably felt very
he
like
wrote
a kinship
to,
right?
Yeah,
so
wrote the character.
Right. So that you can't say like if you did something and you see your character someplace else, your tweet is going to hit a little different.
Right.
Real quick, this sweet baby dude in the chat, you being mad disrespectful, hold this 24-hour timeout. I don't even know how many seconds that is. That is 86,000 seconds. See you next week, my dude. See you next week.
Exactly. We got to relax with the disrespect, y'all.
To the shadow
Sweet
realm.
baby.
Yeah, he got. Someone was off with the head again. We could agree to disagree. Let's just not be disrespectful in the chat, y'all. That's all we say.
Probably mad at me because I had VR and he didn't.
I let him run wild in the chat for like 10 minutes, and he just not calming down. So it's like now I'm gonna put you. I'm gonna put the gate up. Now you can calm down.
Off with his head. It is what it is. But Attic, and I'm actually arcade because you weren't going to go. Because I'm curious.
With his legs. I would have banned him if it was his head.
You're ridiculous. What is your feeling on the whole Days Gone situation and the developer feeling his way about Ben Studio and their involvement of Deacon in the game?
I'm of two minds of this. One mind is you made it's not your IP, and as much as you can kind of be angry and upset about that situation, you don't own it anymore, and that's like a big thing. And what you can do about that is you can take what you've made and use that as inspiration to make something new, and move on from the past and elevate yourself and not let if you're like really, it's very clear he has a lot of resentment on how everything with Days Gone went, and I'm not gonna be dismissive of that because he was the director. He clearly worked very hard on the project and with the team and everything. And let's be clear, PlayStation has its own development issues like any other publisher in the business. So we can't just like it's very that we don't we know that a lot of reporting came out on that whole situation.
Right.
On the other hand, though, I'm sorry if this sounds very rude, but why are you upset about the fact that a franchise that one of the Sony Ben's major franchises being represented and respected in a new PlayStation release? Because in the end of the day, it's like that Days Gone is a franchise that PlayStation could have very easily ignored. PlayStation has so many franchises that could have been an Astrobot instead of Days Gone. They could have went with Twisted Metal. They could have went with a ton of other franchises, but the team
it'd be hard to put Twisted Metal with Astrobot. I'm gonna be real with you.
I don't know. Anything's
Could
possible.
use the clown ice cream truck.
Anything is possible. But the fact that Days Gone got the VIP bot treatment should definitely be like, it shows that PlayStation on some level has a respect or the team at Team Asobi has a love for the franchise, and who are you to kind of just take that away from them, trying to honor something they like? Because they reached out to a lot of people within PlayStation and a lot of third-party people to get those characters in the game. You really think they just said, "Oh, hey, Joker from Persona, we're just gonna put him in here. We're not gonna ask Atlas."
Third party,
no, we're not gonna do that. No, they asked. They asked permission for all these different things, and someone at Sony gave them the thumbs up on including peeking in the game.
Yep.
So
there it is. No, I get it.
Surprises there too, and I actually have something to say on this because I actually reached out to Garvin for a comment.
Okay.
And I won't say verbatim what he says because these are DMs, but I understand. I'm of two minds of this. Like I get the respect and accolades that Sony's given to this character both in this game, and that can be commendable and respectable. But on the flip side of it, I can also see where somebody has created something, and the game sold very well. It sold over 9 million copies and didn't get a sequel. The man is bitter.
Yeah,
he's really bitter over this, and I can tell that even with talking to him just briefly. I can tell that that he says he's not as salty as a lot of people make him out to be, but within the same paragraph he's sending me, he's telling me that he's salty. There was a lot of internal politics that caused the issues between them, and he can't talk about it. But at the end of the day, I get it. I get that he's bitter, that this character is beloved. He wanted to go forward with this character, make a big franchise out of this game. And I personally thought it was a really good game. I wanted to see another.
Yeah, me too. That was one of the first Sony first party studios games that I was able to cover. It's been that long, I was able to meet with the devs at Ben Studio and interview them, and it was I love the concept of the sheer volume of the zombies and the motorcycle. It was dope.
It was really good.
He reminded me to do it from Sons of Anarchy. That's why I liked it.
So, shout out to John for at least being able to speak up and respond to somebody like me who's really a nobody around here. But I respect what he did for the game and everything. But yeah, it's just it's one of those things where I just feel like he's just a bitter, kind of like a parent seeing your child being used in his way. It doesn't. Yeah, no. Pause on that.
Pause on that.
But it's just I get it. I totally understand where it's coming from at the same time.
No doubt. Addict, man, your thoughts on it, bro? Like where you at with Days Gone directed? He's outside. He in the streets.
Look, at the end of the day, I feel like he should probably not refrain to saying stuff like that because it's all about how you execute your approach. Just rewording his sentence to saying something like, I really feel like Sony should have gave, Days Gone another chance, that the game might have, had technical issues, but it sold very well. And it's disappointing to see they have no problem putting in an Astrobot, but they won't fund a sequel.
Right.
So, you know, I think something like that would have came across a lot better, because the way he came across just makes him look bitter. Like,
Right.
like he's upset. And the thing is like, but I'm not going to like punch down or talk down for him making the statements, because I don't know everything that happened behind closed doors
That is
between
true.
him and
Yeah,
PlayStation.
that's a good point. That's a good
Usually when people are this bitter, it's real reasons why they're this bitter. Keep in mind, he's not working for the company anymore.
Right.
He's gone. So there might have been a serious reason why he left. You know, and then plus, you know, they said, well, the studio came out and said they don't acknowledge his statement. Yeah, because they're going to come out and say, yeah, you go, dude. Like, they're not going to say that. They're going to protect their jobs. Like, he probably should have protected his job when he worked there. It's like, you know, we all said for the long time, why ain't they giving this game another chance? Clearly something's up. You know, it's unfortunate that the game didn't get another chance, because I feel like it deserved it. But at this point, how many years has it been? It's like, maybe you should just let that go. Like, it's not like he act like if they green light of Days Gone 2 tomorrow, he coming right back as the director. Nah, dude. They green light that's someone else's baby. It's not yours. They broke up with you. Get over it. Like,
It's interesting because it's funny. I'm looking while you say it, and I'm looking at he is outside. Like, if you look at his Twitter, like he's quote tweeting fanboys going at him, telling him he need to relax and chill out. And somebody said, look, it doesn't mean that you hate Astrobot. It means you hate seeing something that you made that was basically cut short being used in someone else's work. And people forget it's fine to express that frustrating feeling. He said, exactly. I don't know Astrobot and wish them well, but not at the expense of Days Gone. And then he's getting at fans, and he's kind of saying that, you know, because they were like, so you confirm that you're mad about his involvement, and he's like, come at me when you spent 6 years of your life creating and writing a character in the world, and then he's like, what have you created? And then he's talking about he didn't like the PlayStation Plus situation. Like, he's going in.
I
Like,
gotta be honest though, when I collected Deacon and his little motorcycle, I was happy. In the game,
see,
you know,
the thing is though, is
I liked having Deacon there. Like,
he should have been happy that it was using that to give the game more publicity. It would actually been a lot better if it had its own world. Because I feel like some of the worlds they could have replaced with a Days Gone one, and it would have been better to face zombies than whatever the hell we were
Like the
facing.
monkey world.
I do feel like maybe that could have been a world. Like, what I would have liked is like the hidden worlds to be all PlayStation worlds. Like, you know,
that would have been nice.
I would have preferred. I wanted more PlayStation, not less PlayStation.
fair enough.
Because I felt like that was the best experiences in the game.
Yes.
Yeah, and not to mention, you know, when it comes to Astrobot in general, what I got to give them is like, you know, they inspired a lot of Mario, a lot of Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much exploration, inspiring in this game, and it's good, man. But it's just like when it comes to him, it's just like, dude, like,
let it go.
You got to let it go, because now you're bottling up that anger, and all it's doing is costing you future opportunities.
Honestly, at this point, like, take that negative energy and funnel that into a creative project inspired by Days Gone, because that way he can do what he wants to do with something he genuinely loves. But because if you're just gonna be a jerk online and just kind of like be aggressive like about the situation, it's just gonna make it worse. You gotta be.
It's tough though. It's tough, okay, when it's your baby though.
Yeah.
Let's just say I don't know the particulars,
I
but
feel
let's just
him,
say he
but-
lost like the right. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
That's why
I'm gonna shut up on it because
sides.
I don't. Attic made a good point. Like, I still don't know everything behind the scene on the X. You know what I'm saying? So it's a part of me that's like, what if there was something that went down that was foul? You know what I'm saying? He
I'm
just.
coming
You
at
know
this
how
with the
you know how I
ignorance,
know
apologize.
that there's a better way of handling this. This individual is taking one game worse than David Jaffe took 6.
That's a good point too. Yeah, everybody different.
Like, it's just like, dude, like, at the end of the day, like, I would have been a little bit more with this energy. He's clearly upset. PlayStation did something to this man. We got to give him we got to give him the teddy bear, tell him where PlayStation touched you, because clearly that's where we're at this point. But it's
touch them or make them remasters and not make a sequel
so
to what you call it. That's what happened.
There you go.
At this point, it's just like, dude, like, any publishers that might work with you in the future, they're seeing this. They're seeing how you handle, like, because at the end of the day,
how you handle rejection is a big thing when it goes
Good point,
to
yeah.
character.
Good point.
So
it's like,
I can see it.
regardless how it comes down to, and if it's right or wrong, it most likely was not personal with PlayStation. It's just like, look, we need this studio doing this. Like, it was probably not personal. So like, got to take it not personal. Like, especially if you want to continue working in the industry, because it's a very small industry. You know, I'm a content creator. I could talk shit.
Language.
Like you a developer, man. You only got like 8 companies you can work for. Like,
It is what it is. Real quick, because I know we go along with this.
You know, and I think a bit of it was probably personal because when he talks about the backdoor politics being murder, it sounds like some of it was.
Yeah, it sounds like
I think
something.
he's crying.
and that-
he's crying
and-
over the wrong character. That's
and
to me.
and that's why
cry over that. Cry over that.
and that's why, even though I don't agree with what he's saying, I can't talk down on him saying it because I don't know what PlayStation did to this man to invoke this type of behavior.
I understand seeing your intellectual property that you created that you don't own being placed someplace else. I can understand it, right? But again, in this day and age, I tell people all the time, don't press send. Like, now I know I'm held accountable for the stuff that I put. I put out a lot of stuff, but I do it consciously. And how I do it, I don't do it in a way that demeans or hurts individuals, right? So if you're telling somebody, if you're going at toxic individuals on Twitter, those are the same toxic individuals that will patron your games. So you have to be cognizant in what you're saying to individuals, because the internet never forgets.
Yeah, it's almost a lose-lose.
And I feel sorry for him, because if it enrages you to this point that you do engage in Twitter in that form, and you know the powers that be is seeing this, that is a problem.
And it meant a lot to you. It's obvious.
He's willing to crash out for this.
And that's the thing, that on multiple occasions he's the one that's come off as the toxic individual.
Right.
That's why it makes me believe is he even in the gaming industry anymore, or did he go to something else? That's why it kind of makes me feel like he don't even work in this industry anymore.
I think he
more writing. People said he's burning bridges. You know, he put time TNT on every bridge and blew them all up at once.
It is what it is.
He blew all the bridges up but one, because he's in the middle of that bridge with a machete waiting for the zombies to come across. Like,
real quick, I gotta get.
And also, I heard a rumor that Herman Hulst did not like. Yeah, it was a rumor. No source here. I don't want
exclusive.
They'll come after you in the
There's
chat.
a clip.
Can't,
Get a clip.
Can't talk about stuff not confirmed.
But I'm sure you remember back in the day, Herman Hulst himself didn't like Days Gone. I heard he was like not a advocate for a part 2.
Yeah, I did hear that. It's a shame. I did like that game. I did want to get Don's question in
I
this.
think they didn't do Days Gone 2 because Last of Us kind of like clash with each other a little bit. And it's like, do we necessarily need 2 zombie type games in a game? Sure, are they both zombies? No, but that's what this the gaming community sees those games as, is zombie style games.
Right. And then obviously the Metacritic plays a part in it. Remember the reviews, and then in defense of PlayStation, there was some performance issues initially, right before it came through. So there's a lot of stuff we don't know. I do want to get Don's question, because this is also relevant, and then we'll move on. He was a Patreon, but it's relevant to this topic. He said, ever since Astrobot came out, some Xbox fans have been clamoring for a revival of Banjo or Crash to compete. I don't understand this panic that Xbox doesn't have a platformer, because they put out one of the best non-Mario platformers ever made with Psychonauts 2 in 2021. I also don't believe Banjo or Crash are IP that would see commercial success in this era if it is a critically acclaimed game. Astrobot works because it celebrates and represents all PlayStation IP. Mario works because it's been built up as a brand of nonstop for 4 decades. If Xbox was to see that type of success, I believe they need to create a new IP platformer instead of relying on the old. With that, I have this question for the Lords. Which do you think will be the most successful? Number 1, bring back an old beloved IP, Banjo, Crash, or Spyro. Number 2, Psychonauts already the future, continue with that sequel and so on. Or 3, Xbox needs a fresh new IP to compete. What say the realm? What should Xbox do?
Sorry, you go first.
Mm-hmm. What you say?
I'm still on the stance that the only way these, because I mean, wasn't it rumored that Astrobot's already fallen below on projected sales or something like that?
I don't know.
Do not give me that type of ammo.
Amazon.
Not give me that type of ammo.
I heard the Amazon sales is lit. I'm with Fonz. I don't know though.
It's sold out on Amazon in Japan.
Oh, it's doing very well.
So, if I think that game's going to do well, but I think it's the outliner.
Okay.
It's very like Ori didn't sell as good as this game's going to sell because Ori's a hard game.
Mm-hmm.
It's not an easy game, and I think the only way these platforms, if you're not a Mario, Psychonauts can do decent, but I don't even think Psychonauts sold really well either, did it?
Well, it's a sequel too. Like if you didn't play the first one, you may just look at the second one, like I'm not playing the second one.
I'm still a huge advocate on. You need to start putting some of these platforming characters in the same universe and start making them in the same games.
Mm-hmm.
I was just about to say that.
I think a Crash might not be successful by itself because 4 apparently wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
A Banjo might not be successful by itself. A Conquer might not be successful by itself. Even Psychonauts, but let them all come together. And then you build up a fan base with all of them. And I was even saying, let Conquer be the villain being controlled by
That'd be
awesome.
that.
Like the Avengers.
No doubt.
Conquer was technically is like the king of the land at this point at the end of the game. So him being like the main bad guy works really well.
So what do you want? You want old IP arcade Psychonauts sequel, or Xbox bring a fresh new IP to compete in the family-friendly space?
Xbox has so many dead IP that why would I want them to make a new platforming mascot when I got so many they could just bring back?
Right.
I like the idea of them making like sorry, my little guy is
you good?
jump in. I feel like a combination between Crash and Spyro, like what was supposedly canceled, revive that and have that be the introduction to Crash and Spyro under the helm of Microsoft and Xbox. And then for Banjo, do something with like not a platform per se, but a kart racer, like a Diddy Kong Racing with all these like the more family-friendly Xbox mascots, and maybe for Master Chief and Marcus Phoenix in there as well.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for that Master Chief Doom Slayer, so I feel you with that. Fonz?
So Banjo, absolutely not. I'm not a Banjo fan at all. I think if when it comes to mechanics and stuff, Banjo falls flat.
Fonz, you're killing the Banjo bros right now. Don't do it like this.
Killing them, man.
When I
Banjo hasn't had an entry in like 10, 15 years either.
Exactly.
So.
And if you try to play that game today, if you go back to the last Banjo, it's not fun. It's just
Colt will come for you.
There's people out there that
Colt not gonna come back on the show.
All 12 of them.
Oh,
wow.
But
no, so there's more of us.
Psychonauts.
So according to Donald,
Psychonauts, but it's only sold 1.7 million.
According to Dip Down Anime, Banjo is the top 10 selling N64 games of all time.
Yeah, I know. Back in the day,
don't be dismissive, Fonz. Not like that, Fonz. He said, "I know." Back in '88,
I know. I'm joking when I say 12 people. I'm saying today
when they marketed Rare Replay, what was one of the biggest ones they kept showing you?
A lot of people don't. Here's the thing, though. A lot of people aren't going to play a Banjo today. I don't think it'll sell as much as even Psychonauts 2 did. I don't. believe that.
Interesting.
And honestly, you're right though, because it is about nostalgia. Because when I played Psychonauts 2, it was because I loved Psychonauts. I had a history with Psychonauts. Psychonauts 2 is the best-selling Double Fine game, but it's only 1.7 mil. That's
fair.
Not enough. I think they need to try to find something new out of the box. Create a new platformer that is. I hate to say, in the same vein as a Mario 64 or Astrobot or something with. Of course, with fresh mechanics. That's what's needed.
No doubt. King, I think, did you jump in?
I didn't say anything.
Oh, sorry.
What they need to do is do what Xbox promised.
What?
That we can get episodic episodes inside Game Pass You can do an episodic Banjo Kazooie. You put out a couple of maps or whatever, or make it like an open world game where you drop in story lines and stuff like that. You could do it with Conquer. Let's say you make this world, right? And in this rare world, and you add Crash, add Spiral, and they have different theaters that they go in, and different episodes is put up there for you to play from those characters in building this world. So let's say you don't want to fully invest in these characters and you want to see how they perform. You have Game Pass for a reason, right? Start using the platform to bring exclusives, right, to the platform, but also build out a world of characters that is uniquely to yourself. And with this episodic character stuff, people will be joining Game Pass because, I missed the episode with Spyro. I got to get in there and I got to do that. And I saw that it was going up this week or whatever. But that's what they promised. They promised that single player games and games like that are not profitable, that don't sell well, have a place in Game Pass. And I haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
So that's no longer their goal.
No, that's just true. You're right.
Do you remember Project Spark?
Yes.
Remember that they had like a Conquer level? Are you thinking something along those lines?
I'm thinking about a real continuity in a world. Let's say, and you can name it whatever. You can make
it's a fleshed out world.
Yeah, Microsoft Dome. I don't know. But where you would have a fighting game with all these IPs, like a Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
Right. You can do these things. This stuff is possible if only you take the time out and use your creativity. You have these IPs, use them. You have the platform, use them. You said you would, you haven't. And I just want to know what's going on. Are you more preoccupied with sending games over to PlayStation, or are you more occupied with growing the platform that you got and exclusives that can bring people over and IPs that people are asking for? I just gave you a roadmap, and if you do it, I want my bread.
Thank you. Damn. All right.
Me and Fonz are working together.
So, quick thoughts on the question. New IP. Revive the existing joints. Where you at, man? All this stuff.
I think for them, it's like, okay, how do we, if we bring this stuff back, how do we build a game that is on the level of a Mario or now an Astrobot, and at a reasonable budget that we think will sell at least somewhat, right? And again, their math is different because they're considering Game Pass, right? In addition to whatever, if they're going to sell it on other platforms. I really do think you start with Banjo, and why I say that is because Crash is a difficult game. Crash isn't your kind of run of the road platform. Like, it's really hard. It gets really difficult. It is kind of a hardcore platformer.
100% Crash 4 isn't paid, man.
Yeah, Spyro is kind of on the far end of the spectrum where it's a little bit easier, right? But I just don't think mechanically, yes, you have the dragon, you have the flying mechanics and stuff like that. You have the collectathon aspect of it. I just think when you look at the characters that they have, the one that feels most like, obviously, like a Mario game is the one that was kind of built off of it in a way. So it would be Banjo. The mechanics are similar. Obviously, the Kazooie mechanic, and modernize that stuff. I would say make that Banjo 1 remake, but make it the most polished, beautiful, built from the ground up thing you can at a reasonable budget, right? Because those games, in scope wise, aren't huge games. It's just a matter of getting the polish level there, and then see how it does, and then see if you're willing to bring it back and make a brand new one with all the bells and whistles of modernity and stuff like that. But do it that way, as opposed to not doing it at all, not giving the old school heads what they want, and see how it does. Then at least at that point, you can have the excuse like, look, it didn't do what we needed it to do, just bringing the formula forward and modernizing it and making it pretty. And then they could decide. I think King's thing is super interesting. I just think when you think about all those different IP, even though they own it, right, the work that's going to go into building that out, is going to cost a whole lot of money up front before you know if it's going to be successful. So that's why I would worry about that thing. But that is cool because they own all those characters, right? It's almost like, hey, are you going to make your own Smash or something like that now? Something like that.
Yeah,
and it's like you're not licensing out anything. You have
you own
everything in house, right? And there's frameworks that's out there that you can imagine going to a world like Microsoft World. Remember Sony Home?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So you go to Microsoft World. Now imagine there's a movie theater there that's playing the newest release of Crash Bandicoot, the movie.
Yeah.
You go inside the movie theater and you sit down, and instead of you watching the movie, you're actually playing the game, an episode, and it says tune in next time when Crash is. You can do so many different things in this world, but you just got to have the gumption in order to pull it off. Or is it the stuff that I just said? You're not willing to invest into the platform any further in that way. You're not willing to invest in exclusives in that manner. And you see the IPs as something as collateral opposed to something as you can build off of it and change something. Maybe they are happy where they are and don't want to be greater than, because that is not something that that is far-fetched. I'm pretty sure that anybody could have came up with that concept.
Yeah, no, I'll jump in now. Pretty much similar to kind of what you said, so in the sense that, like, I feel they're sitting on IPs that they should utilize. I don't remember which game it was specifically. Maybe Attic can help me. It was one game they said that didn't come out, and they were like, "Man, you guys, if you would have saw the script for this, I don't know if it was Crash
it was a Crash and Spyro
combo. They was like, yo, it got canceled, and I'm like, man, the developers are popping off. So there's a part of me that's like, it's clear that the talent is there, they want to do something, but there's also the part of the business, which is that I'm not sure Microsoft wants to get into this part of the business because I think they are risk averse and worried about this genre. Now, what's beautiful about Astrobot is that it's showing that, if you do things and you have a love letter. Now, granted, Don made a good point. This is like,
see how it sells first.
Right.
So, come out there, you got a 94, but sold 600,000 units.
And that was the point I was about to say, because one of the best conversations, shout out to Jaffe, one of the best conversations me and him had at the live show this weekend was, he's like, look, I know everybody's going in on Concord, and we're about to talk about that, rightfully so. Right, and that was the wrong move, and this is what Sony should be doing. But he said that's fair. He said all I need to see is, and what Sony's going to look at is how this actually performed. Because one thing we do realize in this era, a lot of times the exclusives, as much as they bring the value and the flavor to the console, this is why we love them. When you look at the top 10 games, it be the same games that are the live service or whatever. And I see why people are trend chasing and catch the bag. But look, to this, as far as the Astrobot, like I said, didn't get a chance to play. I was at the live show. We'll take care of that this week. But I remember playing the first one, and I remember saying, man, this is like, not only is it the ultimate, like, cute, adorable mascot thing, right? But the tactile movement, the way the dual senses used, it was the ultimate tech demo for the console. And I'm from an era where you used to have the pack-in game. You used to have that, something that gives you, hey, let's check out the system kind of thing. And it had that energy. So I love that. I love the references. I kind of get a feel I'm going to love the game just on the fact that, all the PlayStation 1 energy and all their franchises represented in this amazing, like, heartfelt love letter kind of way. And I ain't gonna front, like, usually I don't play the QC games. I know Duke's always make fun of me, but he's got a vibe to him. You know what I'm saying? He's got a little swag to him. I do like
playground you want to go to, huh?
I'm just saying the design of it is fine. I will say I don't feel uncomfortable like I shouldn't be there because he look like a little TV, little geek kind of thing going on. But salute to that. But what I am
he
curious.
got the fraud alert.
Oh yeah, they got the fraud. All right, why the fraud alert? Go ahead, Kay. Go ahead.
That is the biggest getting a van energy going. I don't care. Now listen.
See, all Paul really said is, I'll get in the van. It's got to be my van.
Listen. I get with you when you be like, I'm not playing those kiddie games, and you stand on your square. Not like this.
I'm going to tell you why. Because this is my selfish, I'm a PlayStation 1 dude. No disrespect to 2, 3. PlayStation 1 is when I fell in love with it. I was like, I like this aggressive company. They coming outside. They felt betrayed by Nintendo. We are here outside the building. Here they go.
Yo, I need someone to make a meme of throwing Cog in a white van with Astrobot in the back.
It's already going to be up by the time in 5 more minutes. Astro Park going to have it. So
Astro Parrot is on it right now.
Get boss.
Yes. I got to back you up because even for me, I'm not about the kiddie looking games 99% of the time. Every now and again, a game will come out like Psychonauts 2 or this game, Astrobot, or even Mario Wonder with my kids. These games is just like there's some special games that'll drop and I'll go, oh, okay, I can get with this.
Exactly. And I want to reward them because at the end of the day, look, they didn't chase a wave. Look, I ain't going to disrespect what King said. I ain't know that. I ain't know about the assets. I ain't know about, and he is right. I'm not saying that the game is whack because of it, but we cannot be saying, in my opinion, from a review standpoint, that this is the quintessential. There is nothing like this. That I have to take points off that because it's like, I think from a review standpoint, that's all. Sorry.
I think if Astrobot shows anything, if you consistently keep the players' attention for the whole game, it means more than innovating the game in general.
No, facts. I'm not taking it. I just didn't know. And it goes to show that, again, the people, to King's point, really wasn't supporting him because he was out there doing this. And if you were supporting him.
When he was saying, listen to my demo,
nobody bought.
I didn't know either.
Right. I didn't know. So I have to give King that. That is huge. You know what I'm saying? In the sense that now, again, everything else about the game and all the things they added, of course. And I like the fact
null and
that
void. Now we got to question everything you do.
Fair enough. we gotta check if there's reference tracks.
We gotta check to see
fair enough.
If the next board.
All right, fair enough. But in their defense, small team, right? 60 got and then
now we know how they did it. They was juiced.
Stupid. No microtransactions, no live service elements. A classic feel good from the era style. Polish.
There is a store on there that you could pay like 100 coin or something like that, and it gives you a random a collectible that you can upgrade like your boss with.
Yeah.
And I was thinking to myself when I was opening these, I'm like, any other game, give me $1, give me $1, give me $1, give me $1.
Yeah, and my last thing is, how does it do? Let's just see how it does, and if it does well,
it better perform.
Yeah.
If it does not perform,
I got day one. I support
it. And that's what I want to say. I want to see if it does well.
Copies.
Yeah, if it does well, remember the last thing I'll say. Remember, Hiroki just recently was like, yo, we don't have any IP. You know, he was making these very controversial statements that made me feel like, are you still going to go back into the live service bag after the Conquest situation? So
I'm very curious. Just hit that Days Gone director. I'm sure he's looking for a job.
I don't know if his number going to be ringing off right now.
He won't be. Cog, I don't even think it's necessarily, it has to be a platform. It just has to be a really good game. And
absolutely.
I think that's why people are really surrounding this one is because it's a good game. Yes. And rather than
quality, it is the definition of quality.
Yeah. Rather than just like look towards, say, a certain specific genre, I would love for a developer out there to create a game that extends through different genres. And what I mean by that is
we actually saw a PAX game that you would go from a first-person shooter to a racing game. Remember that game called?
Okay,
where it kept switching over and over again.
Yes, I would love to have like a 3D open world type game, but when you go indoors, it turns to a great first-person shooter, and then you might have a level that's a 2D level, game where you're side-scrolling.
It's called Indiana Jones.
You go into like a racing game. For a level, I want to see like a game just like all encompass different genres. And I think it would be fun.
I think the problem with that is a huge risk to ask a AAA developer.
Yeah, and that's the thing in this climate.
How are they gonna sell that?
No, I get it.
What kind of game plays it?
They just put it on PlayStation. They announce it on their console and then announce it on the PlayStation right after.
You funny. Yo, shout out to KSante. He said, Fonz, he said, you're talking about the Plucky Squad?
Well, honestly, when I was thinking about this, it's because of Perfect Dark. I was thinking about Perfect Dark in mind, using different genres. Like she could be chasing down bad guys in the car at one point in one stage, side scrolling another, first person another, third person another, because people were complaining about, oh, it's not third person, you know. And I was just thinking, why don't we see more games that extend past just first or third person?
No, it's a good point. It's a good point.
I don't know.
And what's the beauty of it is hopefully this slows down a bit of the trend chasing and getting back to the essence.
And that's my point.
You know what I'm saying?
It's like there's a lack of
that trend
creativity. There's a lack of creativity in the industry right now that I think a lot of us gamers are feeling. It's not just about a specific genre. It's about specific trend chasing and just like, you know, oh my God, we're talking about it today. It's like, oh, they've got a good platformer. We need a good platformer. Like,
Fortnite is the single game that helped and ruin the industry the most than any other game in this industry that's ever been made. It introduced,
and you know what else? Souls-like. We're
Souls-like,
seeing
so many of those,
Souls-like games now.
There's a company right now, I guarantee you, that's looking at Concord and seeing you know, it wasn't even a fall from heaven, like just a not even rise at all, ascend, and they're like, okay, I think they were on to something. We just got to change this up and change that up. Like, I think we can make money off of this. Like,
the next topic, somebody thought they was on to something and bought a whole studio, but he couldn't get it moving. Look, okay, I got to let him go because I know